Welcome, everyone, to Make Music Income Podcast, where we talk about making money with your music. This is episode 26, and my name is Eric Copeland, and I run a little thing called Make Music Income, a YouTube channel, but also you can find it at makemusicincome.com. And also, as always, joining me here on the podcast is my cohort, my co-host, and my co-conspirator, Stephen Bedall of the Production Music Academy and the Stevie B YouTube channel. So on our second show, way back in early December, we talked about our music incomes. How do we make money? Well, that has changed pretty considerably for me, or at least a certain amount of considerably for me. And also the directions that we're focusing on are changing, and I think it's changing for Steve too, and it's changed since then. So it's not that music is a fluid business that changes all the time and you never know where your money is coming from. Yes, it is. It's like a flowing river in all directions. We never know, especially when you do this full time, where your music is going to come from. But it is crazy, and it's a great life to make music income, but it's also a life that can change less than 6 months later. I mean, I went back and watched our video a little bit to see what we talked about and what my 5 things were. And it's so funny where I am now from where I was then. And that was only the 1st of December when we did that video. So today we're going to update our top 5 music incomes, talk about change in the industry and how it's affected us in our lives, and maybe what music incomes we are hoping to see in another 6 months from now. But first, Steve, what have you been doing up there in your little workshop up in Canada?
My little workshop, toiling away with music.
I imagine little elves running around,
Yeah. I need some elves. That would be a great help. Yeah, man, roller coaster ride. The life of a full-time musician. It is changing all the time. My top 5. Well, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 music-related income streams that I've listed here. But I mean, in order of like what means the most or what's bringing in the most. And it's largely the same that it was at the time that we did that second podcast. But there's been changes too, maybe not as drastic as yours. But man, I've had a good week. Other than that, I've had my official return to YouTube, I guess. Well, I never really left. Never really left. I mean, I was still uploading the podcast episodes, of course, but
you had a video out every week. It's not like you were like gone for months or something.
I know, it feels like a long time to me. I missed it, but I needed some time off just to figure out what the hell to do with YouTube, because I just wasn't feeling right about where it's at. And go watch the video if you need to figure out what what's going on through my head. But just trying to evolve and talk about new topics, new things that I want to discuss on YouTube and share with everybody, other than just kind of like focusing on music libraries and stock music, royalty-free music, that kind of thing. So happy to sort of be back, and I got a lot of videos planned for over the summer, basically. So working on that, working on kind of updating the Academy. I'm trying to rebrand some things, and I'm trying to just kind of tie up some loose ends there. I'm having another good month on Motion Array. In fact, I have currently the most downloads I've ever had.
Goodness
for the
gracious.
month. Yeah, but it's not translating to the most income I've made, obviously, because of the royalty cuts. But I'm about to hit 1,500 downloads, which is more than any other month, and it's more than the month in which I got that top 20 asset.
Goodness.
So it would be cool if I got another top 20 prize or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not actually. This one's kind of strange because none of my tracks are showing up on the first page or anything like that. I don't have a staff pick right now, so I'm curious where it's coming from. But I do see that Motion Array is doing a ton of advertising I'm getting a lot of Motion Array ads before the YouTube videos I watch and stuff like that, and I see some new marketing material that they've got. So maybe they're bringing a lot of new people in. I don't know. I got my new lo-fi hip-hop album has been totally wrapped up and sent to Artlist. I'm assuming that they're mastering it. I don't know when they're going to release it, but I'm moving on from that now, and I'll let you guys know when it comes out. And that's pretty much been my week, other than just kind of working on course content. I got a film scoring course coming up for June 1st, which I'll be talking more about on YouTube. And that's about it, man. What's going on with you?
I would love to get to that. I've been looking at that. Well, I am on the opposite end of the Motion Array spectrum from you. As a matter of fact, all stock has been curiously quiet this month after a pretty decent month last month, even though I did get a sale on Yummy Sounds.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That just, I think when you can say one of your highlights of stock music in a month was that you got a sale on Yummy Sounds, I think that pretty much shows you where we are with stock music.
That's where the world is
at. Not taking anything away from Yummy Sounds, and the guy who runs it is a great guy. But what is going on? And now, to be honest, I have not put my most into new music on Motion Array. And as we all know, it takes consistent uploading to these things to get new songs that are heard and are featured and all that kind of stuff. And that's not what I am doing right now. I think I've only put up 2 songs this month, and then I had a rejection this month. I've got several others that I'm kind of like meh about. I'm halfway through them, and I've told you this process before. When I go back to a song and I listen to it, it has to make me want to continue on it, and the past 2 that I've gone back to, when I've had a second to go back to them, I've been not interested in continuing to work with them. So I don't know where we're going to go with this, but we'll talk about that more as we go away. What I'm most busy on right now is I'm kind of on a 2-week break between classes.
Oh, cool.
My class ended last Friday, and so this week and next week are really like catch up for me to study. There's a lot of stuff in Pro Tools that I've forgotten or didn't know or wanted to figure out, Elastic Audio and things like that, that I have to teach here in a few weeks, and I want to make sure that I know it better than they do.
Right.
And so going through all the tests and figuring all that kind of stuff. So I got to get ready for my next batch of recruits. And then because I lead the very earliest people that walk into this school. I have the first 2 classes with them, and I'm continuing to get more vocals back from the country album that I do see an end for. I got one back this week, and so continuing to finish that up so I can move on to something else. I did a relatively interesting New Music Tuesday that you were part of. What is lo-fi?
It's a great stream.
It was lo-fi, and it was also lo-fi video. I'm still working out my video kinks for my video, but streaming is just, I don't know if it's my computer. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch over. Well, I'm going to just switch over now in case, to just get off the Wi-Fi just to make sure I don't mess up anything. I have a video coming out tomorrow or Saturday on how I monetize my music YouTube channel in 8 months and the steps I took to do that, which
That's cool.
I think is pretty important, and it highlights lots of people like Stevie B and our good friend Daniel from Stock Music Licensing and others. I found out that a video that I got money in, we talked about this offline about my first money in content ID. It has over 500,000 views. But the question is, did it get those 500,000 views before February when Identify started looking at it, or did it get it since? We'll find out. I'm sure it probably got it before because it was launched in December. But that channel has many videos with millions of hits on it. So that could continue to rise, and maybe that will be income. Who knows? I do find myself right now wanting to make music that I want to make. So I identified with your video that you launched today a little bit in the fact that I'm really wanting to make music not for briefs, not for someone else, but just make the music that I want to make. And I'm having trouble cranking out whatever needs to be made for whoever wants it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on the sync side of things, because I kind of do what I want for that, but on the stock side certainly, and other taxi briefs and things like that. I just my interest level is very low for that right now. Oh, and I did just get a nice thing yesterday that happened. This is probably the biggest thing that happened. Looks like I got my first sponsored video coming soon for my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, what was that?
They just contacted me yesterday, which is exciting, and part of my income streams conversation, which is how to grow the YouTube channel. And I think it's important to get that. That's a part of. I know you've had that happen with your channel before, and so I've been waiting and approaching companies and different things. So we'll see how that goes.
That's something that we'll have to wait to find out what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It'll be in the next couple weeks here.
Okay. Cool.
But otherwise, I'm ready to talk about this music income conversation. I always, as you know, this being the Make Music Income podcast, I always love to talk about music incomes, and I find it just endlessly interesting. Your video today was, I'm not sure I find stock interesting to make tons of videos on, but for me, there are a million videos I could make about making income from music, and you should see my content calendar. It is full, and interviews that I want to have, and new things I find out every day, and another income that just came in this week, and the teaching income now that is just providing stability, and all these kind of things that I just find it really hugely interesting. So
yeah, it is interesting.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want to start? We're going to go all the way down to number 8. I can separate mine down into 8 as well.
Well, we can just do 1 to 1. You tell me your top one, and I can do the top one and go back and forth.
Okay, we'll go backwards this time, because last time we went
go backwards. Okay.
Lowest to highest, and this time we could go highest to lowest.
Okay,
if you want.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'll start. My highest is still what was highest last time, strangely enough, but just barely, and that is my client work that I do. And last time I kind of put consulting as its own thing. I think it was number 3 on my list. I've just kind of put all client work in together: consulting, production, and marketing that I do for people through my label, and basically the work that I've done for 25 years. It's still the top income now.
Yeah.
If I really get into that money, some of it has come from the YouTube channel. Some of it has come from sales and different other kinds of things that are on some of my lower incomes. But that's for now teetering as the number 1, but it's about to be toppled, or it's actually about to fall down probably as other things come up. But we'll talk about that more as we go on. But that's still probably the number 1 income. It's consistently inconsistent, but it's
right.
Or inconsistently consistent, one of those two. It's a struggle every single month, and so. But I have an idea on how to get that a little bit more consistent, and that might be a video for my channel that we're going to talk about. But it involves probably moving my label and all of its doings into my school, and involving students in interning and things like that, which will really, and so I think that's going to be the way that continues, because I've gone everywhere from thinking about shuttering it all after 25 years to rocking it all the way back out again, and so we'll see where we end up with that. But that's my number 1, and that is a 5-figure income, a 4-figure income per month, and probably at least 45 to 50% of now my income, if not maybe a little bit more than 50% of my monthly income.
That's really interesting. Well, that's cool. I would have thought That teaching would be the number one now, but that's really interesting.
Still
that
not.
it's still
Yeah.
number one. I still have a custom scoring projects at the top of my list, and it's really kind of fascinating because even though it's the income source that I spend the least amount of time on, it's still the most lucrative. And the occasional project that I do get still accounts for a sizable chunk of my overall income. For this year, I mean, it's still early in the year, right? So it's well, not that early, but it's still relatively, we have a long ways left to go, and I don't know whether that will remain the case by the end of this year. But for now, at least, it still accounts for the most income. But let me tell you, not by much. It's by a very small margin, and it could all change. Like last year, I got a ton of work in December. So I mean, the whole year was kind of just trucking along, and then I got some big contracts that came my way at the very end of the year, and everything sort of changed. So, but that being said, yeah, thus far, just the small amount of work that I've done for one single project has been the biggest earner for me this year.
The lines are so blurred between that, because you could almost say that the work you've been doing for Artlist is production based.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point, and I actually I'm classifying that under working with music libraries or like royalty licensing. Yeah, which technically it isn't. That you're right. So I could make the argument, and if that was the case, then by far so you already know what my number two is going to be.
Let's go ahead into it.
Yeah. So number two for me is my income has been considerable from just the commissions that I'm getting from Artlist, and as well as Motion Array is not insignificant. I mean, already I've made a little bit of a fair chunk of change from Motion Array just this year alone. Not nearly as much as Artlist, but let's just say that Artlist, as an umbrella company that owns Motion Array, I've earned a fair amount of money from them this year, and that is definitely number two. And it is, who knows, man? By the end of this year, it could be the number one. It could be the number one in 6 months in. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's still to be determined how much work they're going to give me, but so far so good. They've been really happy with everything I've given them, and there's every indication to suggest that I'll keep getting more. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, number two for me is the new teaching job that I started this year, and it is very close to the client work number, but it is also a mid five figure income per year, just like my client work. I mean, that shows you if that one is a mid five figure income, then the client work must be more than that. And so one of my goals this year, I've had 6-figure years before where I've made 6 figures with my company, especially back in the salad days of Nashville, when I was in the middle of around the early 2000 teens. Actually, even a few years back, just about 4 or 5 years ago, I made about $150,000 one year from the music, all the stuff I was doing. But I did business a different way that year. I operated as a bring all the money in and then pay all the money out. And that's a whole different business model than my usual consulting type model where people pay me only and I have them pay the players and engineers and all the expenses out themselves. And really people don't care, but I think they prefer to know where all their money's going and pay those things themselves. So I have had those years before, but it looks like I'm headed towards back another good year with both of these incomes. The teaching thing is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. I love going there every day, and I can't wait to get the next class. I'm a little nervous, but ready for the next class to come in and teach them all about everything from the ground up. I mean, everything from Pro Tools to Logic to the history of music to music theory to all these things. I mean, we hit a lot in 9 weeks. it is a race to cover a grand amount of stuff.
That's
and
cool.
when they leave there, they are writing songs, even if they have no idea how to write songs. And so it's a lot of fun.
That's
So
awesome.
it's as close to becoming a composition teacher that I'm going to come right now. But it also involves a lot of other things that I do all day long, like production, and it allows me to teach from experience. I can tell them about things that are going on in Nashville that particular week, and I think that's a lot of fun to be able to teach from current work and say, hey, you could do this too, and you could, it just takes a life of work. That's the hardest thing to teach people.
Yeah.
Just to stay doing music for your whole life. If you stop, you won't make any money in it, but if you keep doing it and keep at it, and I can tell everybody who's watching this or listening to this podcast, you can't make a music income if you quit music. So you've got to stay in it, and that's a lecture I just gave on Friday to this departing class. And I just kept hammering home: keep doing music, keep doing music, keep doing music. Because if you don't, you won't keep doing music, and you won't make any income from it.
Yeah. It's so important to have a good mentor and a good teacher. Looking back on all the education I've received, like a really good teacher can be the difference for students. So it's a great job to have, and you're making a difference in people's lives. It's a very meaningful line of work.
I really enjoy it, and I hope I can be that person, just like some of my teachers were for me. And professors that were really integral. All right, well, let me go now to my third music income that's bringing in the most, and now we go way down now.
Yeah.
We take a gigantic jump down from what I just talked about. My client work and my teaching work, those two things are probably at least 90% of my income a year, if not maybe even more than that, 92, 93%. Even some of the numbers I was thinking of client work, because I think of my business bank account where everything goes to, and stock music stuff goes there, royalties go there, sales of streaming and everything goes there, except my teaching stuff, which comes into my personal account. But my business bank account seems bigger maybe than it is from consulting, production, and marketing, because I do have little things like motion array payments, and I'm not averaging very much. I just talked about in a recent video where I am with stock music, where what I'm making. I literally told everybody about my monthly average or so, and it's not impressive. And it's probably 2 to 3% of my monthly income now. That's another reason why it can't have that much time, unfortunately, versus last year when I didn't have another day gig and I could just mess around all day, and it was a grand experiment, right? And Motion Array was a fun paying thing every month, and you could really see how much you were going to make as you went along. And the more you did, you could leverage that. You could figure out how to make more if you were making some. So so I will just say number 3 for me is royalties in general. Everything from stock, or what I would call sync royalties, which anything we get from a stock library is basically a sync royalty. It's a royalty being paid to us to be synced to something, even if it's synced to a YouTube video. So I don't know of another kind of royalty you would call it. But to me, it's a sync royalty, and so royalties from that. I did see my first pennies, and this is a little premature to talk about this on video, from sync licensing. I saw a song on my BMI report this last time, and my BMI reports were stinky. They were probably $25, something like that. But
something.
10 cents of that was a use on a radio commercial or something for one of the songs that's signed to one of my libraries. So
nice.
And there was a couple others that had a few cents here and there. And I remember, and it really adds up to like 14 cents, which is exactly what Jesse on Sync My Music talks about seeing as his first royalties was 14 cents. So I need to tell him that. But including BMI stuff, including Sound Exchange, including the MLC and all the other little different royalties that come in, though they would be in third place. But we are talking maybe 300 a month to 500 a month if it's a great month.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a smaller one, and it's getting ready to be overtaken by my fourth income. But we'll talk about that next. What is your third income?
Well, yeah, like similar to you, we're taking a sort of an exponential slide down the income ladder, but not a gigantic one for me. It's the third source of income for me is the Production Music Academy, which is a very meaningful source of income, and it's one that, and it's for considering that it's third on the list. I put an insane amount of time into it, and if the way I think about it is that it's a growth project. It is growing, but there is sort of a finish line in terms of like the content that I want to have in there. I'm always going to be adding stuff, but right now I'm kind of trying to set it up so that I can properly market it, which I haven't really done other than just organic content marketing through YouTube. So it's a long-term project. I spend a ridiculous amount of time on it, but it does bring in stable monthly income for me, which is extremely important, and I can count on it. So not that royalties don't bring in income, monthly income for me, but they're totally unpredictable, right? And I think the key is to having some kind of like stable, predictable monthly income. There's a lot of benefits to having that. For one thing, I would never be approved for any kind of bank loan otherwise. So if I ever want to buy a house or something like that, which I would, who knows anymore, but going to a bank without even if you're earning like a decent amount of change from like doing scoring projects, even as a contractor, they look at you and they're just like, no.
Well, I don't find that to be true. Here, at least here in the States, I can go in with my bank statements. I don't have now. Soon I'll have months and months of pay stubs from one job. But over the past 22 years, as you know, I haven't had a net. I haven't had any other income, and I've still managed to get houses, to rent houses and things like that, and the way and get cars. And the way that I do that is I have to prove my income from bank statements. And so I need to bring in 2 to 3 to 4 months of bank statements so they can see consistent income coming in from my business stuff. And, that's not hard to prove. It just depends. But my problem is credit rating. I just have such a terrible credit rating from completely not being able to pay bills. As of last night, we have a big bill that comes on the 26th. I am begging a client to pay me,
Right.
and they're just not able to get the money to me for whatever reason. And so those kind of things are difficult with this kind of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to get a house as easy as it is for someone who makes six figures from a job where they can just show their pay stubs.
Yes.
And, so I get that.
Yeah, there's an added sense of security with some, when you're able to prove sort of a monthly income. That's not the only reason I started the academy. I mean, it's nice to have that monthly income, but it's a labor of love, and I really enjoy helping people, and I think that I've been able to provide some value to the members in there, and I think that the cost to join is very reasonable. And I love building communities, and in the same way that I really I've loved sort of being a part of the community on YouTube and in the Discord channel. And I work hard to give the most value to the members there. And I know that a lot of them listen to this podcast, and just want to say big shout out to them. And it's been a wild ride. I love it. I love doing it, and I'm going to continue to make it better and better all the time.
And I think if I remember right, it was number 5 on your list last time. It was not even in the top 3. So that's
right.
Interesting that it's grown.
It has grown. Yeah, it has grown. There's been some new members, and yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll just keep growing it. that's the plan anyway. But I just love it, and and speaking about like what you were talking about earlier with like kind of like having to reassess how much time you're putting into to stock music, for example, because the income is so low. I guess I could make that same argument for the Academy and say, well, this is only third on the list, so I should spend less time doing it. But like I said, at the start, it's a long-term vision for me. So that's why I kind of put a lot of time into it. My girlfriend kind of bugs me sometimes and says, you should probably try to get more scoring gigs. Maybe I should, but for now, I'm focusing on just trying to build it up, and maybe it'll kind of go on autopilot at some point in the future. But that's where I'm at with it.
Well, see, for me, that's my number 4 income, which is my YouTube channel, and that is something that is starting to approach what I make from stock music every month, and I think it looks like as early as next month it could, because 2 things are happening. Like I said, I have a sponsor for a video that could be continual.
Yeah, sweet.
On a monthly videos or I don't know, every couple months or something. But I'm also releasing my first item out, which is a ebook on the stock libraries. People ask me all the time. Someone just asked me yesterday, is there a directory on the stock libraries, and can you lead me to them, and how did I get there, and what do they do, and all that kind of stuff. And so I've been waiting, and my next week's video is how to find music libraries, and it's going to talk about sync and stock, and then I'm going to announce this ebook that is available. Nice. So that, in addition to sponsorships, in addition to income that I'm making from Google AdSense for advertising on the channel, is bringing that up. And like I said, it could easily become number 3 income very soon. And like you with Production Music Academy, I love doing it. It's just fun. I guess if it ever becomes a drag, then I'll have to reassess. You just went through that with your YouTube channel. Do I keep doing this the way I've been doing it, or do I do something different? Now, mine has so much opportunity to do different things that I'm not going to run into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's number 4, and it continues to grow. And I'd like to talk about what we think is going to be the top maybe 5 in 6 months from now. But let's continue with this list with your number 4. What is that for you?
Right. So number 4 is Production Music Tools, and this is my MIDI and sample pack company and my kind of side hustle at the moment. I of course would love to spend more time on it, but I've had some help recently. I've got 3 packs total now that are sourced from other producers. Two of which have yet to be launched on the site, but the income from this has gone up, and steadily, not like a huge increase but it's over time. It's just steadily gone up. And I have kind of like an automated system to help me market it, which is something that I just did a little video on in the Academy, which was on the subject of kind of building email lists and creating content to market like products like that, which could also help you build your profile as an artist. But yeah, I'm very grateful for it, and it's really fun. But man, I struggle to find the time to work on it and to grow the business with everything else that's going on. But I would like to get to a place where I'm able to put a little bit more time on it, because I do think that there is a lot of potential there to make more income. I see it doing well in the future, but there is so much work that needs to be done, and it is not easy making these packs. It's not easy. It's very time consuming to make the artwork, to create a demo track. But once it's up, and it's a digital product, right?
Forever.
It's like I don't have to do anything. So, yeah, I like the idea of it, and I just wish there was a few more hours in the day, but it's very tough to manage it. But it doesn't bring in a huge amount of income, but it does help me pay some bills, which are really cool, and it's useful for people, I think. So, yeah, that's number 4.
Number 5 for me would be music sales, and this is from streaming or downloads or anything from CD Baby. I still get paid by CD Baby, but mostly DistroKid, but also now Amuse, Song Trader. I have 4 distributors now, and that'll probably be the video that I do about this. Is where should you distribute your music and why you should distribute your music. One of the videos coming up, and it's mainly because I think, and you'll agree with this, we've got to get on distributing the music that we're putting out to these stock libraries.
Yeah.
That music is just sitting in these stock libraries. Either maybe it's being used or maybe it's doing nothing. And it could be on Spotify continuing to be found and get in playlists and get on New Music Radar and get people listening to it and make us money. And so I know you feel this way. I think everybody probably feels this way, or I get questions every single day. Can I put my music that's on stock libraries on
I get that a lot.
onto Spotify? And I'm like, yes, absolutely, do it. But there's just so much. It doesn't even take that much time, really.
No, it's I've got both my Artlist albums are up on Spotify, and dude, there's so much work to be done on Spotify. I'm so eager to tackle it. I got a gigantic bee that's trying to fly into my room right now.
And when we say Spotify, we mean Apple, Amazon, all the things, Stevie B never took on more relevance than right now.
Go ahead and close my window there. Now that the sunshine's come out here, they just get bigger every year, man. It's crazy.
Well, your name is Stevie B.
Stevie Bumblebee.
So yeah, that's number 5.
Yeah,
I have to make that. I'll save one for number 6. That's kind of part of that. But number 6 would be sheet music, which is getting way ahead. But sheet music has started to take off. It went on.
That's
they
so
changed
cool.
my sheet music site, which I've got 4 pieces of sheet music up, and suddenly over the past week or so, I've had 3 to 5 sales, and I just need to get more of my piano music, especially up there.
Yeah.
But that's a matter of getting it, paying somebody to make sheet music, easy to read sheet music. Because when we create these things, we don't think about someone else playing it. We only think about me playing it and being artistic with it. But for sheet music to sell, it has to be a song, number 1, people maybe know, and number 2, an arrangement they want to play, and it has to be simplified enough that everybody could play it. And so that's what I'm working on right now.
Nice.
So where are you with 5 and 6? Or are you at 5 yet?
5 and 6, it's kind of a tie. They're probably both about the same, but the I'd say 5 is probably gigs, actual live gigs. I don't do them as nearly as much as I used to, but they if I'm lucky, I make a couple $100, here and there. Sometimes a month goes by and I don't do a gig. Usually there's like 1 or 2 gigs a month. I got one this Saturday, so I'm stoked about that. And then number 6 would be affiliate marketing, which is a new income for me, but it's surprisingly, I'm doing better with it than I thought. I'm getting regular payouts from the amount of people that are clicking on that video that I did about Output's Arcade. So I'm an affiliate marketer for Output, and I'm happy to do so because I like their products and I use them. I kind of inserted that little affiliate link in both the videos that I did about Output, and they do well. They still bring in regular views, and I just got a payment from them the other day, and it's cool. It's free money. I like it. Not a lot of money, but
affiliate links will be my number 7 this year, as it turns out. I haven't seen many, but I know I'm getting them because they keep telling me you just got.
Oh, like an Amazon or something, or
no? Well, maybe. I have Amazon. I have Z Sounds or Z Sounds. I use that for all my pages, but I just haven't had time to go check it out and see what I've made. I don't think it's very much. And then also Music Library Report. I have an affiliate link there because I send people there all the time. Cool. And so probably I'll have more of those as we go along. There's another place that just said that I had an affiliate link. Oh, I made Pond 5 affiliate income this month.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because of the Pond 5 video, and they gave me an affiliate link. And
Interesting.
someone has signed up with Pond 5 and is not selling music, but buying music.
Huh.
And I get a percentage of everything that they sell or something like that. I don't know. It's not very much, of course. It's
Right.
pennies. But yeah, maybe that could be a thing for me too at number 7.
Yeah, and then I have YouTube and Spotify are technically the last place incomes
Now wait a
for
minute.
me.
I thought you got a pretty decent Spotify CD DistroKid payment recently.
Yeah,
Did
but
you get
if you chop that up by like what it is per month,
Monthly?
it's probably not that much. It's like it's like sitting in there at like $500, but that's been for the entirety of time that I've had anything on Spotify through DistroKid, which is over like many months. So I don't know exactly what it is per month, but it's probably less than
Gotcha.
100 or so. YouTube is a little bit above it, right? Because I think YouTube is probably about $100 a month or something like that, which is cool.
Yeah. My average so far has been about 150, but that's going to be less this month, I think. But again, I count in sponsorships, and really I would almost count affiliate links, sponsorships, sales from the YouTube channel, all as YouTube channel incomes. Like none of them would happen without the YouTube channel. But
Yeah,
I guess it just depends
It's
on
just
how you want to
disconnected.
classify it.
the real question is how much money can you get for the Oscar statue that's on your desk, and what category did you win an Oscar in?
Yes.
Best
actually
musical
not an
performance?
Oscar. No, it's not an Oscar. It's actually a Telly Award.
Oh, see, I looked. Oh, okay.
It's a Telly Award, and I got this in 2020 for a song that is now signed to one of my sync libraries. It's called "This Could Be Your Day."
Cool.
And it was, but it's a beauty trophy.
It looks
really
great.
is. I mean, it's heavy. These are heavier than I thought.
Solid gold.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just put him like right here for the rest of the video. I've actually got another one. If you pan over, there's another one right
nice.
there that I won a few years back for an EPK for an artist. And so yeah, always
That's
leave
cool.
those in the background. But no, I have done different video things, and the tellies really are for commercials, like TV commercials, TV shows, not TV shows, mostly video based things. And so, but you also television, like news network or news around the nation news things, or videos that you do. We could submit one of our YouTube videos that we do
Right.
for our channel to that
Right.
and get a telly for that. And as far as I know, it's international. I don't think it's just U.S., but maybe it is. I don't know.
Cool.
Anyway, so let's now switch, because I'm about to run up to my time wall here, but let me just talk about what I'd like my top 5 to be in a perfect world. And we talked about this last time, and one of them now has come true from the last time we talked, because when I talked before, I was like, boy, I would really like to use this master's and be teaching at some point. And that has now become the number 2 income. And I think I would prefer it stay the number 2 income, because I'd like the number 1 income to be royalties. I'd like to get sync rolling so much, and whatever stock brings. I mean, it's not like I'm going to take the stock stuff down, but I want sync to become a 5-figure income, and I'd love for it to become a bigger income than teaching. Talk about being able to teach off of the production work that I'm doing is very important, but the production work I want to be doing personally is my own stuff that I'm producing for sync libraries. So, which I am doing, and I've been teaching over the past few months and showing them charts from songs that we are doing for this country album for this sync library. So, I'm teaching from that experience now. But I'd like there to be income coming from that. But that's going to take still a few years to really get going, and that means a lot more music out to these libraries. And so royalties. And then teaching, I don't see an end to teaching right now. I love it. I want to keep doing it. The client work or my label, I'd like that to keep going, but I'd like it to be more automated. so that other people are taking care of most of the work, and I am just overseeing it and just keeping in touch as an executive producer. I'd love for my YouTube channel to become a four-figure income, both in how much I get paid, sponsorships, sales, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, I'd like music sales of all kinds, streaming, downloads, sheet music, all that stuff to become a bigger income.
Cool.
But I'm not as concerned with that one. But yeah, that's kind of where I'd like to be. How about you?
Yeah, I think,
Any thoughts?
I would love for Spotify to take like one of the top 3 positions. That would be super cool. I'd love to grow my artist profile more and maybe start getting into like selling merch, even playing shows under my own name. That kind of thing would be really exciting for me. Yeah, I mean, I still want the Production Music Academy and film scoring gigs, or whatever. It doesn't have to be film scoring. It can be custom work. Music composition work. I want those to take the top 3 positions because they are the most meaningful and fun for me. And in an ideal world, it would be great to kind of like set everything up for production music tools, so that I have it kind of on autopilot, and it just generates passive income for me. But there would ideally be come a time where I'm able to like effectively farm out the content creation for that kind of thing without having to like put in a ton of work myself. So it'd be nice to kind of get it to a place where it runs itself, is what I'm trying to say. And the same could be said for like Content ID. That would be great, because it's just like super passive income. I don't really have to do anything, just hopefully the songs show up in videos and it just kind of brings in some cash. That would be really cool. But it remains to be seen whether that's actually feasible. But in terms of the work I'm putting into things like the Academy and and custom composing, is like those are my favorite things to do. If those hold the top 2 positions, then I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, I'm going to put Content ID into the royalties side of things. I mean, it's definitely a form of royalty. I don't even know. I guess you would call it a form of sync royalty. Just collected from someplace else. So again, with my number one goal for royalties to be the first thing, then I would like to see Content ID contributing to that from the stock side, and maybe even the sync side, although most likely sync would take the Content ID type of stuff from that. But I think we're both kind of moving in the same direction. We would love to be composing mostly and teaching after that mostly.
Yes.
You through your production academy and things like that. And I think that's been an interesting look at what we do and how we make our incomes. And but all of it, folks, as you can tell, changes either slightly in Steve's case or greatly in my case. And even in the past 6 months, stock music has become, which at the time I thought, man, this is just going to keep growing. In December, right? We thought, oh, it's just going to keep going.
Yeah.
And then 1 month later, at least, on an average basis, as far as the way Motion Array worked. Now, some people like yourself have found ways to are in the I don't know what to
kind
call
of bypass the royalty system and work more directly with them. But yeah,
well, but I'm talking about some people's music is just going to fit for the higher rate and higher downloads, and some people are not. And I kind of fall in between the people who don't make any money on YouTube, on Motion Array, and the people who make a little bit, a decent amount. And I can always usually be assured of level 4 and sometimes level 5, but I don't have any dreams of reaching level 6 because I just don't have the time to put into that or desire, really. And so, I think that we're both kind of seeing the and if you're watching this or listening to this and you're thinking, okay, what am I going to get out of this? Get out of this that, all of these things that we're doing, we pursue them on a daily basis. We pursue them on purpose. Each of these things. I don't just I pursued a teaching job. I pursue finding new clients. I pursue my royalties and sync music and stock music, and I pursue working hard on this YouTube channel that you're likely watching this podcast on right now. So all of those things, you got to stay on them. You got to go get them. They're not going to come just because you threw a song up on a library and suddenly all this stuff happened. None of that happened for Steve or I. So that's my rant on that for now.
Yeah, good rant. I mean, none of it falls in our laps. I mean, sometimes we get lucky, but it's all based on the work that we've put in already, you know? So you gotta, don't rely on luck. You know, you gotta put that hard work in, and then the luck finds you.
I did mention this when I was talking about lo-fi. And, the lo-fi thing that I did recently, I know that I put in 50% less work than you put in on normal things that you do. Because you do breakdown videos where you show all the tracks and all the minor stuff you're going through, and I just don't. And so I think that will show you you are having great months on Motion Array, but those are really well-produced tracks that are intricate and they take time. So you're definitely putting the time into it, versus I almost feel like I don't deserve more income from stock music because I don't put in that much time on them, and admittedly. So there you go,
Yeah. I mean, I talk about writing fast, and I think, technically, like if I finish a track in like 4 hours, say on average, like that's pretty fast, but it's still like a lot of work. I'm doing a lot of things in those 4 hours.
But you work really fast, so that's probably twice or three times that amount of hours for a normal someone just starting out, or a medium person that's just kind of had a little bit of luck on Pond 5, or
right,
maybe even got accepted on it Motion Array. You're in a different league really than a lot of producers, and I am too, but I don't probably put the onus and the importance on stock stuff like I do my sync stuff, where I'm taking it to Nashville and polishing it completely. Well, I hope this has been interesting to you. I hope this helps. I would love to know your comments in either the YouTube video, or just get in touch with us and tell us if this is interesting content for you, to find out where our music incomes are. It's interesting to me, but then again, I have a channel called Make Music Income, so it's probably going to be more interesting to me than most people.
No kidding, eh? Leave a comment, folks, because it helps the YouTube algorithm and the recommendation. So we want to spread the word, and by all means, share the video with your friends if you think that they'd benefit from hearing us. And it's been a great chat, man. Good talk.
Okay. Good talking to you, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Make Music Income podcast.
See you guys.